Craig Johnson. Good. Appreciate you taking the call.
And fantastic, mate. Thanks for having me. Mate.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Happy New Year to you.
Yeah, Happy New Year to you, mate.
Thanks for taking the call to chat to me today. Appreciate it. We were talking the other day about what was that interview I did? It was with Island Jason.
Island Jason, that's the one.
Now your feedback on that has made this happen, and I think it cuts both ways with this one, doesn't it? It's like we're both in the same situation. We're like, these are interesting. What can you do? How can we share something, inspire others, motivate people into getting outside? I don't know what way you look at it. What way do you think of making your films and stuff like that? Or,
well, for me, it's just I just get out and enjoy what I do. You know what I mean? I take my camera with me, and hopefully that my viewers just enjoy what I do. You know, it's just all about getting out and just having a good time and a laugh, really. You know, for me anyway.
When did you start your channel?
So actually, my channel's been going for about 4 years. But when I first started YouTube, I sort of delved into sort of like cooking and outdoors, like camping and stuff. But I decided to drop down to do what I do now. So yeah, properly, I would say with my new sort of format on my channel, I would probably say just over 1.5 years, something like that.
Wow. I think it was it last August, around that time? Was July, August I found your channel? Maybe it's even before then, is it?
It's been a while. Well, it seems like it's been a while, but it hasn't. You know, I found you, I think, on your live stream, one of your live streams. So it was like, boom.
There's like some sort of chain, isn't there? How you found somebody. I remember like Hang Tough and Benny Bushcraft and Mick, and it's like this chain of, you find people through the lives, don't you? The lives are kind of important.
Yeah, I think I joined one of your lives, and we'd obviously got Sticks on there, and the Pembrokeshire Prepper. I think Scoot Lady Chicago. I think she was on one of your lives at the time. It was like informative, so yeah, I was just like hooked generally. Yeah. So
the lives are weird. I mean, it took me a long time to get into them. I think I remember, any way I've ever learned over time, it's been like, you're gonna be crap at this, but you'll get better. Just keep on doing them, and something will get easier or better. And I don't know if it's gotten better, but I've got I'm a bit more chilled out doing the lives these days. But I was saying to Sticks before, some of the crazy ones where like people go, I can't hear you, they're the good ones. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like when you have the technical issues.
Raw is better. Raw is definitely better. I mean, the last live stream that I did, which I think you joined, Owen, as well, was when I was in that muddy bloody stealth camp there. You know, and it was it sort of cheered me up, because I was like in like a grim environment. You know, it was wet, it was chucking down with rain, there was mud everywhere. Every time I come out the tent, I nearly got trench foot, and it was the
Somme.
It was like the Somme, that was it. But doing that live sort of give me that little bit, you know, it spurred me on, you know, throughout the camp. Actually, it was really good. I really enjoyed that, and it was raw, but that's how it is, you know. I think they're better sometimes.
It's good when people turn up. I remember a few of my lives, and you know, you're sitting there going, especially the Friday morning ones, and you're sitting there going, there's nobody here. It's like, and it goes on, and I did realize that you sometimes have to wait about 8 minutes. I had a few of them. I was like, about 8 minutes is when YouTube starts going, oh no, it is actually alive. He's not just going to end this live. It is actually alive. And then they go, then it maybe takes 8 to 10 minutes for it to come up as a notification for other people. I mean, a lot of people do lives where they set the time, or they set the date.
Yeah,
But as you
that's
say,
right.
the raw thing is this, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to
It's
do
the
it.
spontaneousness of just going like, right, do you know what? I'm just going to go live on my phone. There we go. Let's see what happens. And it's, for me, it's that bit where it's the first bit. So when you press live, and then you sort of could be waiting for, I don't know, 5 minutes or something, and and you've got no one viewing, and you're thinking, what do I do here? You know what I mean? Because you're still live.
Yeah.
You know. So
Exactly.
yeah,
You're still live.
scratching
You're like,
your
oh
head.
no.
So
But I was talking to Hang Tough the other day, obviously, about the thing that happened to me on the 29th. And
yeah.
he was telling me about how he was out with a silky saw at one stage, and it got stuck in the tree. And when he pulled it out, it gashed him on the arm. So it'd be nice to do a few of these interviews where we kind of get to the nitty gritty of things.
Yeah,
What
100%.
have you got any New Year's resolutions?
For me, regards to what the channel or regards to just me personally.
I suppose the channel first. Yeah.
Yeah, for be honest, like my channel would have to be just change it up that little bit. I want to get do some more serious camps regards to perhaps showing me equipment a bit more. Like I've got a new tent, so I want to be able to get out in some nice environments and show a bit more about my equipment, what I've got, and things like that.
What is that tent that you have?
I've got the Cairngorm 3-man tent,
Okay.
Berghouse. So I've seen it on various YouTube channels.
Berghaus make good kit. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's the 3-man. I mean, it is on the hefty side. I think it's 4.4 kg, so it is quite a hefty tent. Like,
Yeah.
but
Is that the green one? Is it? Is that the green one?
no, actually, it's the red one. Because as far as I'm aware, and I don't know how true this is, but apparently they've stopped making the green one.
Okay.
But,
Yeah. I
so
just
it's
thought your tent was
no,
green. The last one I saw, I thought it was green.
yeah. I've got the Van Gogh Orion 200 2-man tent, which
Okay.
is a fantastic tent. I've done stealth camps in that, and I've also done the wild camps in that. But I wanted something a bit more spacious, perhaps a bit more strength with it, because the Van Gogh's only a 2-pole tent,
Okay.
so like a tunnel tent.
Yeah.
Where this Berghouse is a 3-pole tent, so it sort of crosses over, and then there's a pole that goes over the middle, so it's quite a sturdy tent as far as I'm seeing on the reviews and stuff.
Okay. I don't think I saw the Berghaus one. Have you used it in a video, or did I miss
I
that?
haven't used it yet. No, I only got it for Christmas. So
Okay. All right. I
I'm
must have
looking
missed that.
forward. I'm actually itching to get out in it, to be quite honest with you. But
Deadly.
yeah, 100%. Yeah,
And is it dome shaped or?
It's actually, yeah. It
Here,
is sort
I'm
of
gonna Google it. Hang on there. Let's Google it and bring up a
dome.
picture of it because I can screen record this. What's the name of it?
It's a Berghouse Cairngorm 3.
Oh.
So it's the 3-man tent. I mean, the reviews I've seen on it is where they sort of say it's sort of a 2-man, but plenty of space
Yeah.
for your bags and stuff.
Oh yeah, I love it. Yeah. Oh, wait,
However,
hang
the
on.
vestibule on it at the front is huge. You can
Oh, do you know what this
actually,
is? Do you know what this is? It's got 2 doors on it, does it?
yes, the 2 doors that fold on the
This
vestibule, yeah.
is my. I had a Euro hike tent for 14 years, and it was exactly this.
Right.
Here, let me bring it up on screen so that people can see it. Just one second. I'm gonna just drag it across here. Wow, deadly. An expensive piece of kit, really. It's in that 180 euros, 300
Yeah.
euro bracket,
I
which
think it
is
was 189 £189 it was, yeah. Yeah.
yeah. I
But
love that. So the you've got this area that you can. I won't tell you what I use that area for at the front of that tent. But you've got this area at the front, which is pretty much a porch with two openings, and
yeah,
then you have the back piece is really
you
where you can
sleep.
lie two people and maybe a
Yeah,
kid up against the very
yeah.
far inside corner.
Like I say, I've seen on the reviews you've got like comfortable two people, 100%, and then you've
Mm,
got enough room in like the sleeping compartment there. You could put your two bags, but the vestibule is plenty big enough to put all your equipment as well.
yeah,
Um, what they do say is actually push comes to the shove, you could actually get four men in it because the vestibule,
we'll take one.
so from
Yeah,
angle to angle,
yeah.
you know, push come to the shove, you could get someone corner to corner.
The chef.
So
The chef.
yeah, the chef, yeah,
Myself and my wife in the very like I mean it's more or less identical shape. It's this geometry of this tent that stands out to me. Um, we were in like 50, 60 mile an hour winds in that. Now we
yeah,
were in a sheltered cove, so the wind was around. Everything's moving around, but we weren't directly in the wind. But and it seems to have some extra guy lines
yeah.
just
A
around,
few
yeah,
things too. Yeah,
just around the side of the sleeping area on the sides of it.
yeah.
Beautiful.
Like I say, I mean, like the Van Gogh I've got, which is absolutely absolutely fantastic tent. It does me like I've done a couple of wild camps in it. Um, it's not been tried and tested for me personally in like really strong winds and stuff. I have seen other videos and stuff where like the poles have collapsed and whatnot. However, it's still a sturdy tent, but I wanted something that little bit stronger and that bit bigger, where I could sort of store my equipment, and then there's an opportunity where like other people can come out camping as well. You know, you've
Yeah,
got that
yeah,
there
yeah.
and things. I'm thinking on the same wavelength here, Owen. We're thinking on the same wavelength.
I've got a question for you. Do you want to take a break? Yeah, I won't tell you what I would do in the front of those tents on beaches.
That's it.
Anyway, it was very versatile for even bathroom use. Let's just leave it at that.
Exactly. Exactly. We've got with.
What age were you when you had your first camp?
So for me, I was actually started in the Army Cadets.
Okay.
So it would have been probably when I was about 10.
Okay.
We went out for it was actually just a chilled out camp with the Army Cadets, and we used to, what we did was we pitched up in a local field, so we did a bit of a hiking
Hmm.
with all our equipment, all your cadet uniform on and your bag and stuff like that. And then was like a little bit of a brook that was pretty close to the camp spot there. And I was just thinking to myself, this is absolutely fantastic. I just felt like I was in the middle of nowhere, even at that age.
Hmm.
And we did a few like things, sort of like learning how to start a fire and things like that.
10 is this. When I thought about asking that question, it's the same for me. 10,
Yeah,
and a lot of people that I've even put that question to. I think I can't remember Jason's answer to that, but I think he said some. Oh, he said 14. He was
right.
brought out in some youth thing when he was 14, I think. And it
Yeah,
is interesting this. Well, for me anyway, 10. I was thinking, when did this start for you?
yeah,
And why does it begin? Like, what's the thing? Like, I remember looking up at just up through some trees in a garden. I wasn't really, you wouldn't call it camping, like I wasn't out anywhere, but I was in the wilds of the west of Ireland with these trees, and I used to just hide on my mum. I'd just go, right, if she'll never find me, I'll just stay here. And I'd be covered in ticks within
Yeah.
about 40 minutes, you know, and there'd be all this job to get ticks out of you, you know, but it never put me off, you know, the feeling. But I think I was 14, maybe, before I camped out somewhere wild.
Wild, yeah.
Um, and then it was the fire was lit, as they say. That was the beginning, you know.
For us, like as well, like like for me personally, where I grew up, there was a lot of like like wooded areas and stuff. So I was brought up on like a council estate, but around the area we had plenty of like shrubbery area, and so it was like great for adventure. So we always used to get out as well as bits of kids and just make dens. You make a
Mm.
den in the woods and things like that. You just let the imagination just run.
I remember getting black sacks, probably about 11 or 12, and we made a kind of wooden frame, um, pretty much just the inside line of a tent, and
Right?
then we
Yeah,
got
yeah.
black sacks, cut them in half, pulled them down to the ground, and I think we used an actual like a paper stapler to
Yeah.
staple the black sack onto the wood.
To the wood, yeah.
And then there's all earwigs inside it. 2 days later, we'd
Of
built an
course,
extension on, and there was like a left turn, and then it became, a crazy little like camping adventure.
of course. That's
Yeah,
it. That's what it's about. That's exactly what it's about. It's just let your imagination just run wild with, your world's endless at that point, isn't it?
yeah.
Oh, we had this, we do this.
Is it? Some people say it's an escape, and this is one of the questions I wanted to ask you about stealth camping.
Yeah.
I think I sent you some of the ideas, that come into my head, but come into people's heads. Like, it's one of the things that always gets me is the roundabout ones. We've
Aye.
all woken up, driven outside, and you see these skid marks through a roundabout. And anytime I watch the roundabout ones, I go, I just hope this doesn't
Yeah,
happen.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah. See, for me, a roundabout is, especially with stealth camping. So, to be fair, a roundabout is a very popular camp to do. Uh,
It's
so it's it's your own sort of, for me anyway, personally, it's your own island for the night. You know,
yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
you could be anywhere. You could have be absolutely anywhere.
I think the Normans did this, or some. This was a thing, a couple of 100 years ago, that people made man-made islands to
Yeah, yeah,
protect themselves. That's an
yeah.
interesting concept. It's you went out in a stealth camp once, and I'm nearly sure it was you, and you went out and there was there police or something like that, and you had to turn around. There,
Yeah.
there was an
So
accident or something.
that was it. So I went to a spot, and unfortunately there was an accident. So at the bottom of the road. But like, if I'd have gone out perhaps half an hour before, I would have sort of been sort of trapped in that spot, if you like. uh, and actually, now you mention that, I actually have tried that spot now 3 times, and yeah, I've not had good luck with that spot.
What's the allure? Is it to get away from, is it a great excuse to get away somewhere where you're not too far away from home? And like, because like anytime I try and think of, I'll just go out and sit behind Tesco's for 2 hours. That was another thing that came into my head. It was like the availability of supplies. Is this the reason why we camp behind Tesco's? Is it's just carrying distance?
It's an absolute bonus. I mean, me and one of the geezers, Joe Outdoors. I travelled actually to Manchester to do a camp with him there, and Joe had already done this location before, so it was basically it was just like a mini woodland, and Tesco was right in front of us. It was like a paradise in a lot of ways. So yeah, it was absolutely perfect. You could park your car, you could use the toilet, you could go
Gotcha.
and get food. You could go and get your beer. You can go in. You can go in really light, and then you can just go and get all your, your beers and your food and that while you're there. But when we were in that woodland there, we felt like we were like miles away from anywhere. But at the same time, you look through the trees and you've got like Tesco, Marks and Spencers, everything else just
Yeah.
right in front of you.
Yeah,
You
it's
know.
like that guy, the Daft Hat guy. What's
Yeah,
his name?
Nick. But yeah,
I forget his full name.
Nick
The
Ball.
What is it?
Nick Ball. It's
Him with the Daft Hat.
him with the daft hat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was watching him maybe a year or two ago, and the odd time you'd see this pan, and there's a full industrial estate,
Yeah.
But it's these little islands of paradise. I like that. That's a good way of explaining it. It's that this kind of little paradise in the middle of what isn't paradise, I suppose.
We have we have this little saying, like, and it's that thing is, we used to go as kids. We used to go and get drunk and sit on roundabouts, like be kids. You know what I mean? And then now I'm doing it as a 42-year-old man.
Well, that's
But
what they that's what they say about camping, isn't it? That camping is an expensive homelessness experience.
yeah, you know. But it's just the absolute buzz of just being in a place where that, well, perhaps you shouldn't be, but it's that fact that it's your environment, so it gives you that buzz. Stealth camping for me gives you the buzz of
Without you even saying that,
gives you the adrenaline for me.
yeah, without you even saying that, I'd already thought that a minute or
Yeah,
two ago. I was like, oh, I get it now.
yeah,
There's the search for the spot. There's the availability of supplies and resources, and it's still camping. One of the things that always comes out with me with stealth camping is the lack of fire. I think there's a
yeah,
real I'm going to use a big word like maturity to not using
yeah,
fire, but
yeah, of course.
it's a pretty lonely place to sit
Yeah,
inside a tent and be there, without a fire. And I actually think it does show for me, there's stages of camping, and the stage of being able to, skip the fire and
get the
skip all
fight.
this energy that you're burning and all these signals that you're putting off. I mean, that's how I kind of connected with the Stealth Camping Alliance. Was in Ireland, it's all private land,
Yeah,
and if you have a fire, you're going to alarm people. But they don't know it's a controlled fire. They just
of
think
course.
it.
You're just getting noticed straight away,
Yeah.
aren't you?
So that's
Pretty much.
that. I always kind of look at my camps as stealth camps, and I got
Yeah,
real used to the fact that I wasn't burning loads of energy. I wasn't
yeah,
oxidizing loads of food to burn more energy to get damp to sit outside in the cold. I know you do this though. You sit out in the cold anyway.
yeah.
Um,
You sort of sit there and you sort of just persevere, because the idea is you want to show the location of perhaps like where you are more so than you would or even on a wild camp.
mm,
So that might sound silly, but like if you're sat on a roundabout, for instance, you want to show that environment more than you would probably would if you were in a beautiful part of the Lake District. You know, you
yeah,
know what
yeah.
I mean?
Who was I watching recently that did a roundabout camp? I was watching a stealth camp, and there was somebody on a roundabout. I'm not sure. Just to because you said this a minute ago, the CAMPSKI Geezers.
Yeah,
There's all these little communities, these little islands of people
yeah,
that talk to each other and communicate with each other. And I'm really interested in this. This is why you'd see me quite actively going, well, what's this about?
yeah.
And I like to do that on YouTube. I've met so many really cool people by just going, I don't. It's a one big tribe, campers.
Of course.
Stealth
Yeah,
campers, wild campers, urban campers. It's a big tribe, and there's all these little islands. But the CAMPSKI Geezers, who is there a founding father? Is there like who was there a concept? Is there a big plan? Is there a big wall map that says, this we're going to conquer the world? Is there? It does look like that.
Maybe one day the CAMPSKI Geezers will conquer the camping world, for instance.
It's nice to see people working together. I like it.
So the CAMPSKI Geezers, actually, I mean, I was invited in. So the OGs or the original members of the CAMPSKI Geezers was Race Outdoors, Steve Fortune, Joe Outdoors, and Franny from Manx Gone Wild. So they were, I think originally, I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was Steve Fortune and Race Outdoors.
Okay.
They started this thing because they used to work together. They did a lot of videos together, and at the time it was everyone used to say put ski on the end of everything. Yeah. Ski, you know, going for a beer ski and all this sort of stuff. I'm just going off what Racy had told me, you know, and so the idea was, so eventually, like, then Joe come along and then Franny, so it was the original, like, 4 members. I think we're, like, near on 20 now, whereas I got invited in. It was actually Joe that said to me, oh, we're part of this group, mate, because we'd sort of been communicating through comments on our videos, this, that, and the other. And he said to me, mate, he said, I like your stuff. You seem like a decent lad. We're in this group called the CAMPSKI Geezers. It's a WhatsApp group. Do you want in? So I sent him my number, and I think it was via Instagram or Messenger or something like that. And yeah, he added me to the group, and then since then the group has just gone up and gone up. We've got some absolutely fantastic guys in there, all different qualities of camping as well. Sorry, that's perhaps not the right word, but like knowledge. So we've got people that are like old school, know everything about everything. We've got Tyrone Outdoors, that's an absolute whiz kid in the outdoors.
Shields Vikings is another guy, isn't
it? Obviously, we've got Steve Fortune, Big Ginger in the Woods. We've also got the Cheshire Wanderer, Mike from the Cheshire Wanderer. He's an absolute legend. He goes out in his bivvies, sleeps in the wild.
Is it true that to join it, all you need to do is start putting in hashtag CAMPSKI Geezers onto your...
Well, to be fair,
are you president at the moment? I'm just joking.
I mean, I'm not an admin, so there's like an admin.
Well, is there a Facebook group? Yeah.
No, we haven't. It's something we've talked about as a collective, but obviously we're all quite like busy with our lives.
Oh, there's an admin on the WhatsApp group. Gotcha.
So we have to have. So there's an admin who can add people. But we have delved into thinking like ideas about starting up like a Facebook CAMPSKI Geezer group where we share our videos and then other people can join if they want, whatever.
It's nice. I mean, it was something I wanted to ask you, and I need to have a look at my list of questions again. Okay, here let's get to something technical. What things do you think about when you're packing for a camp?
For me, it's got to be warmth. You know, I'm a bit of a bugger for overpacking. It's like, for me, it's like I'm going for a night, but I'm going for 3 weeks.
Okay.
You know,
you never really, you only show like a little tiny purse that you bring. I've noticed this. You never really see, like, you keep the area around your camp quite clean. There's I'm a devil for counting. I count logs. I'm like, he's not going to last all night. Say that again.
I said I like to set all my equipment out and keep it neat, you know, so I know where everything is and I can access it, you know, pretty good. But for me, so what do I think about when I'm packing? So for me, it's definitely warmth. So I will always pack extra clothes Nine times out of 10, probably never use them, which adds extra weight to your back.
See that? You remember the beach camp that you did with Steve?
Yeah.
What would you have packed that night, for example? What would it be?
Right.
Because that was a cut down camp, was it? Did you do 2 trips or?
No, so what I did, I travelled up to stay on the train. So that journey actually took me 5.5 hours on the train.
Okay.
So I actually took a suitcase.
Right.
So, because I was thinking, carrying this on my bag. So I actually packed a suitcase with wheels on.
With your rucksack in it?
Yeah, I put my rucksack in it
Nice.
and all my stuff because I knew that I was going to Steve's house first.
Yeah, clever.
So what I did is I packed that up, everything I needed. So I packed slightly heavier than I would normally.
Yeah.
I arrived there, I got to Steve's house, and then what I did then, me and Steve had a bit of a crack on it, his gaff, before we got going.
Mm-hmm.
And then I packed my bag there.
It's interesting. There was a guy called Jamie 4H or something like this, but he does a lot of high camp, wild camps. I was like, he pulls out a full bottle of wine. He cooks a 3-course meal. I'm like, how do you do this, man? He goes, I bring up the fluids a week beforehand. He said, I bring up some of the heavy stuff and I ditch it. And stash it. And or cache it. Yeah. Caching. Yeah. Caching. Yeah. I like it. And I was like, that really helped me to actually do my first mountaintop camp, was that information. So, stuff like this, people, it was one thing I noticed with you. It's like your gear is organized, your stuff is organized. And so warmth, you were saying warmth is comfort, and warmth and extra layers and stuff like that are 100%. Priority. What would be, how much water would you drink in a night? Or would you think about it? Would you think about water? You have enough fluids?
To be honest, I have probably enough fluids with the alcohol. However, doing the beer reviews and stuff as I do on my channel. But no, generally I do take like probably 2 litres of water.
Yeah. You do some good beer reviews, by the way. Of the beer reviews, of all the beer reviews I watch, you're up there with Camping with Steve with the beer reviews. The step 2. Now you are. You go into the detail. I'm not sure if it's Scoot Lady Chicago's influence on you or something like that, but you go into that. I'm just joking. Yeah. But no, I'm taken away from what it is. You actually go into, so it doesn't matter where you are, you do this particular piece about the tasting of a beer.
Yeah.
And you spend the time, and then there's this other rating. What is it called? There's other some people in the CAMPSKI Geezers have this thing, is it a rating of session worthy, or what is it?
So the idea is with that, and it was actually Steve Fortune that started that. So what it was so you've got like the appearance of your can, so your IPA or whatever it may be, mark that, and then so you give it a try, and then you sort of mark it on session worthy. So session worthy is, well, it's a fine line with session worthy. The way I look at session worthy personally is you could have more than one can. So, for instance, I've had some beers before and I'm thinking, Christ, I've struggled to have one can. I've struggled to finish it. Whereas I would class session worthy as perhaps drink like 3 or 4 beers of the same.
Yeah.
Same beer.
Could you drink, I like the way you say 3 or 4. It's nice. I saw Steve, Big Ginger in the Woods. He brought out, what was that nun one? What's the thing? What is it called? The one made by the monks.
Oh, Northern Monk.
No, the one from that they drink in Scotland. What's it called?
Buckfast.
Buckfast.
Yeah, yeah.
I could see him. He had that thing, you know, when you go,
Yeah.
you make
He
that
said
face.
he actually said to me, he says, Craig, he says, you need to get yourself a bottle of Buckfast. And actually, you just reminded me because I was supposed to sort of follow on for, well, not supposed to, but we were going to follow on for that. But I've never seen Buckfast in my local supermarkets, I'll be honest.
Mm.
But he did say it's like drinking cough medicine.
Wow.
But,
I think I remember having it in some late bar back in the
right,
90s, and
yeah.
just that's it. I just remember actually tasting it. I don't remember anything else after that.
That's it, you know.
But it
But
stands out as something I never had again. But some people love it. Some people really do love it. I guess it's like anything, you know. Some people don't like Guinness. Um, Hang on there, I've got a phone call coming in. Some people don't like Guinness, and yet, you know, some people just they drink Guinness, and it's like this is just beautiful, you know, some beautiful drink.
I mean,
Um,
I get a lot of flack because my favourite drink, and anyone that follows my channel will know that I drink Carling, but the amount of grief I get, you know, drinking Carling, you know, but it is what it is.
I'm just remembering one of it was when you say Carling, you had a camp near a brewery, and
Yeah, we
I remember
yeah we
watching this video, and you know, I watch a lot of videos, and I remember watching it and just seeing the lights, and I was like, ah. And you got rumbled. That looked like a perfect little spot if you had candles, you know.
to be fair, what happened with that camp was that like I'd met up with Ash, so needlessly nomadic, um, stealth camping legend to be fair,
Hmm.
and friend Fun Facts Ford. So I'd travel down to Burton on Trent, and the idea was we're going to do a camp outside the Carling Brewery.
Hmm.
So we'd scope this between us. We'd scope this spot out, and you know, through maps and this, that, and the other. So Ash from Needlessly Maddie had turned up, and he said, "Oh, we've got this absolutely brilliant spot directly opposite the Carling Brew where they make the Carling." So we were like, "Yes." So
It's like going to what's the chocolate factory? Willy Wonka and the chocolate.
So we got there, and I'm trying to climb. We're trying to climb over this fence. I mean, this fence must have been, well, probably 6 foot. So we're scrambling over this fence, and it was like an abandoned garden. So the actual place where we were was the old Bass Brewery,
Okay, yeah, I remember you saying that.
which was closed down.
Yeah.
So we sort of scrambled over. I mean, it was really not that stealthy, to be quite honest. But yeah, we got over, and we got this, like, we were surrounded by like trees and stuff, and we were thinking, but we'd all only got bivvies.
Okay.
So we're thinking, right, we'll camp here anyway. The heavens absolutely opened, and it was chucking down with rain. So we thought, we'll go inside the brewery, which was abandoned. Which, what happened then, we got too comfortable with setup. We got too noisy, too leery. The lights were on. You know, we
If you don't have fire stealth camping, but you have lights, you know.
yeah. And then next minute, I can remember Ash coming through because he'd been out recording a piece for his video, and he come running in, and he's like, pack up, pack up, pack up, there's somebody here. And then he did a runner. So I'm trying to scramble me bivvy bag in my bag. You know, I got me blow up mat out. I'd even got like, there was like an old sofa there. So I'd put like cushions underneath from this sofa. It was like absolutely beautiful setup. So I'm trying to scramble it all in my bag. Anyway, this guy comes in. He says, "Oh, you're going to have to leave. You know, this, I'm going to call the police and this, that, and the other." And we're just trying to say, look, we're just recording YouTube videos. We mean no harm. You know,
Yeah.
we're not in the property. We're not. you're trespassing, this, that, and the other. So anyway, luckily enough, we managed to get out. But then that particular night, we had to sort of scramble, find just a field in the middle of nowhere. So we pitched up in the middle of Burton-on-Trent, just in this field.
Yeah.
So just trying to set up our bivvies. It was absolutely chucking it down with rain. So all the inside of our bivvies were wet. The sleeping bags were wet. Clothes were wet. Oh, absolute nightmare, to be honest. But perfect.
Perfect story as well. It was.
Story. Memories. Yeah. Memories I'll have forever, you know.
Isn't it nice that we live in a world where, you know, you can say, hey, I'm just making a YouTube video. And somebody goes, all right, here's another one of these crazy people who, or, well, when I say crazy, it's not an offensive thing, but here's another one of these people who are just doing this stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's a crazy world that we live in to have that as a possibility that, you know, you're just having fun. You're just recording something.
Just having fun. Not causing any trouble or damage or disrespecting property or vandalizing anything.
Yeah. There's a kind of etiquette, isn't there, with YouTube and making videos that, you know, you there's something like you almost have to do good things within the environment, within the community.
To be honest,
not do anything bad because it's been videotaped. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And to be honest, with that particular camp with Needlessly Nomadic there, we actually realised in the morning that we'd forgot that we'd left all our chairs in the original spot where we were. Mm. So we went back in the morning, climbed over the fence again, took our chairs and actually just made sure that we cleaned up the place was a mess, but we cleaned up our area where we'd been. And I think that's just, leave no trace and all that, it doesn't matter whether you're stealth camping or you're wild camping, just in general, just make sure you clean your mess up.
And that was your Carling moment. All right. On that note, I'm going to close off part 1. Craig, thanks very much for this. And anybody who's watching, thanks very much for hitting the like, smashing subscribe, going over to Craig's channel, finding all the CAMPSKI Geezers. And in the next section, we're going to talk about Stealth Camping Alliance. And I don't know, there's a few other things to talk about anyway. So cheers, Craig. I'll end that one now.